I am the chairman of SGA Elections. Thank you all for coming tonight. We have a wonderful event here for you tonight. We have 4 parties here. I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we will go ahead and get started. So thank you all for coming. Thank you. Oh, and let me introduce our moderator, Mr. Michael Haynes.
Hello. Hello. Like I said, my name is Michael Haynes. I am the Legislative Affairs Director of SGA current, and I am on the Elections Board. I'm going to moderate the debate tonight. First of all, I would like to bring all the candidates up one at a time to introduce themselves to the audience. So if you guys would like to come up first.
Hi, I'm Hank Cloninger. I'm running with Access Silverback.
Hi, I'm Colleen Gladden. I'm Vice President running for Access Silverback.
Hey, I'm Basil Al-Kassab, and I'm running for the president of A Voice for Change.
Hi, my name is Guilherme Hansen. I'm running for vice presidency of A Voice for Change.
My name is Rachel Herring, and I'm running for president with the Banana Party.
My name is Christian Dalton. I'm running for vice president, and I'm with the Banana Party.
I'm Ryan McGee. I'm the presidential candidate of the Major Key Party.
I'm Morgan Hussein, and I'm running as vice president on Major Key Party.
All right, before we begin the debate tonight, I would like to thank everyone for coming out, and I'd like to thank anyone that is tuning in on the live stream on pitstate.tv. The candidates have mutually agreed on debate rules, and they will be allowed to begin with a 3-minute introductory statement. The person that has won the initial thing is going to be Ryan McGee and his party, and we will go to the right. Every single topic, we will go to the right one, and they will begin during the next topic. So, Mr. McGee, come on up for your introductory statement. You will have 3 minutes.
How's everyone doing tonight? I would just like to start off by saying the main aspect of the reason that I wanted to run for student body president was just, I think, the feel for Senate as a whole. I know a lot of people in the room haven't been to a Senate meeting, but for those of you that have, they're very, I feel, hostile in a sense, and I just want to get back to the basis that it's more of that we are still a student organization. I understand that we are represented as a governing body, but at the same time we need to look at it from the area that we are still students, our constituents are still students, so we need to keep on the same platform, on the same level as them. I feel like that's the best way to fully understand what they want, what we want as a whole, and in total, making for a better student body. The other aspects that I wanted to focus on as well, I was really passionate about academics. Originally, the position I wanted to run for in student government was academic affairs. I feel like we can definitely branch off more than just Scantrons. For the most part, that's what people know us as, and I kind of want to break away from that because I feel like we can do a lot more for students in that aspect. I really wanted to focus on just how teachers are held accountable in the classroom. I feel like in large part they kind of just go through the same process each semester. We do the performance reviews, and from my understanding and from what most of you guys I'm sure have seen, is it generally just gets thrown away. I know some teachers end up throwing them away. They really don't follow up with the performance reviews. They don't really go through with what they say they're going to do about that. And I feel like it's going to be very important, especially for all the new students coming in. If there's one teacher that repeatedly has the same bad performance reviews, I feel like there should be something done about it. I'm not saying a repercussion or a punishment. I'm just saying at least ensuring that the teachers are reading them. So when it comes down to it, maybe in baby steps, it may take 10 years from now before something's actually truly done about it. But at least if they're actually reading them, that might make one teacher to make a change and just have from there stem off to something a lot bigger. But thank you guys.
Thank you. Ms. Herring, Banana Party.
I want to start out by telling you guys a little bit about the Banana Party. Last year, Kyle Hostetler and I started the Banana Party because we had ideas for student government, and we saw it a different way than a lot of other people in the organization. And the Banana Party's back again. And we are not politicians, we're students. And I like to look back on the last year. It's not over yet, but all the things that we changed or like affected and things that we did, and like I'm really proud to say that we did those things, but we also want to look forward and be able to make the same changes and good things for the student next year. Some major parts of our platform, one thing that is really important to my running mate and I is mental health awareness and care at our school. College is a really stressful time for everyone, and our school has great mental health resources already, but we want to expand it, and we want to work to take that stigma away so that a student that's having a hard time doesn't, they're not scared to go and get help. We also want to expand other services for students, such as letting us be able to have Sodexo, like not have to cater all of our events in the student center, because we pay for our student center, and we shouldn't have to pay a company to cater every event. We shouldn't have to pay $40 for water to have water because we can't bring our own. Other than that, we want to support athletics, but not monetarily like we already do. We want to recognize basketball, softball, any other sport that doesn't get a lot of attention, and try to make those as greatly attended as our football games, and create that same sort of atmosphere so that we can start building traditions for basketball and other sports. We also want to see changes to parking, not by adding spots, but by making it less stressful, having a mini shuttle come from here to the tech center and back, and not having a 25-minute route. Another thing would be looking at repainting lines so that they can fit more parking, and also converting some of the blue to brown. So those are some of our major parts of our platform. Show it tonight. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Al-Kassab. Voice for Change Party, introductory statement.
Hi, as I stated before, my name is Guilherme Hansen. I am an international student here at Pitt State. I'm from Brazil. I'm in the International Student Association, and during our campaign, we got the chance to talk to many different organizations on campus, and the answer is always the same. They are not really represented. They don't get to hear from our organization, from SGA, and we would like to change that. We want to make sure that we have those students being heard and their concerns being addressed here at Pittsburgh State.
Hey guys, I'm Basil, and I'm going to start with telling you a little bit of background on myself. I'm currently a cadet in the Army ROTC here on campus, and a volunteer firefighter in the Army Fire Department. And I'm going to say some stuff about the Voice for Change. At first, we wanted to join a party, we wanted to get in, but then we saw some issues. We saw that here at Pitt State, we have one of the lowest participation rates in the country. Here, when 5 to 7% of the actual students come in and vote, that's very bad, guys. We want to change that. I went into classes, I went into organizations, I went to associations. I know we can make a change here, and we're pretty sure we can make that happen. But we need all your help. So just trust us, and thank you. Vote for Voice for Change.
Thank you, Mr. Kleiner.
All right, hey guys, I'm Hank. I'm not from Brazil, I'm from Pittsburgh, so kind of lame. But what you guys will probably notice with us is we're kind of the compromise party. We have a little bit of what everyone else has. I know Banana Party focuses on transportation a lot. We're not dealing so much with that, but they also deal with affordability of college as well as free printing. We deal with that. A Voice for Change deals with diversity. Colleen can tell you guys a little bit about the Love Project here a little bit down the way, but that's mostly trying to make people who are either international students or from marginal groups on campus, whether it be Muslims or anything else, it could be anything. We're trying to make them feel welcome at Pitt State and feel like this is their home as much as ours. And also with Ryan McGee's party, with Major Key Party, they're dealing with safety of adding cameras to parking lots, as well as doing light walks as well, which that's what we want to do. We want to add more lights on campus, add more around the Oval, pick out specific spots that people usually think, oh, that's well lit, but it could be better lit, just so people feel more safe, as well as addressing concealed carry on campus, whether you're for it or against it. I know it's a pretty polarizing issue, but it's happening anyway, July 1st, 2017, so it's an issue that we need to be talking about one way or another. And the way that we're addressing it is of safety, of adding ALICE trainings and adding concealed carry courses. These aren't to be mandatory or make you have to go to them. It's just for people who decide to carry on campus that they have that training, since the state of Kansas doesn't require you to have a permit anymore. It's adding that training, just giving safety to campus, as well as people who are opposed to the issue. There will be ALICE training, just so that they know what to do in an active shooter situation. Although it's under critique, ALICE training is often, it's better than doing nothing. So that's one of the main things that we want to address, as well as our other issues.
Hi guys, I'm going to talk about the Love Project and specialized degree programs. Before I even knew I was running for SGA office, one of the things I've always been passionate about is student diversity. I formed a organization called GAL, Gamma Alpha Lambda, which is an on-campus Christian organization. One of the things that we did this year was we brought Muslims into our organization to talk about how we can show solidarity for them and the kind of harsh treatment and discrimination they face, not only on campus, but just in the rest of the United States. This made me it really touched my heart, and I wanted to do more for students on campus. So I'm going to be working with Eva Sager and Krista Livingston to form the Love Project, which is a 10-week student diversity program that will take place in the fall. What we'll do is we'll celebrate a different on-campus, marginalized on-campus group. We'll bring in public speakers to show how you can show your solidarity. We'll encourage random acts of kindness for each of those groups. At the end of the 10 weeks, we'll have a giant get-together with all of them, because a lot of them hang out in individual groups, but we don't really have experience.
Thank you all. We will now proceed to our next topic. Every party will have the opportunity to answer a question based on their party platform. I have a list, and we will begin with the Banana Party. You've mentioned that you would like to see free printing on campus with up to 100 free prints allowed per student. How would you accomplish this goal? And please address the issues of funding and implementation. You have 2 minutes.
Our plan, or our proposition, is to give each student 100 free pages a semester. And we've developed this plan through studying the same plans at other Regent schools. They all get around $8 in credit through their university print service, which is kind of similar to Gus. So 100 free pages would roughly transfer to $10 a student. If you had 10 pages every day, and you had a 14-page thing to print, you would have to go and pay 40 cents. But if each student had an allowance of how much they could print a semester, then that's kind of our plan. You want to talk about how it's going to pay for itself?
The way it'll pay for itself is through tuition. It might be a slight increase, but you'll see next to nothing per person. Over everybody, it'll add up, but individually, you're not going to see a change hardly at all. And with the note of Regent schools, every Regent school, like you said, has about $8 of free printing, except Fort Hays, and Fort Hays is the only other one that charges their students to print. And at the moment, Fort Hays is under review and looking at something to change that as well.
This project, or this proposition that we have, is self-sustainable, because there are students that will go over $10, and after the first year, it could pay for itself with the calculations that we've made.
Thank you. Next up is a voice for change. You mentioned in your platform your desire to rebuild the relationship between the student body and SGA. Why do you feel the current relationship is poor, and how would you address what you seem to indicate is a serious problem? You have 2 minutes.
In the course of the last 2 weeks, we met with a lot of people. We wanted to do a campaign video, and that campaign video, we went off, we spoke with a lot of presidents of a lot of international organizations and a lot of domestic organizations. And I was asking them, like, hey guys, what are the main issues that you had on campus? What can we do to make your life as a student here at Pitt State better? And there's one thing that I heard from every single one of them, and quote me on this, every single one of them. We do not know what is the SGA. We do not know what the SGA does. We never were contacted by the SGA. And I have over 20 or 25 presidents of major organizations in my campaign video. And they all have said this in that. And that, guys, is a very big issue. And we feel that not as many students, we have a huge amount of diversity here at Pitt State. A huge amount of diversity. We might be that D2 school in the middle of nowhere, but guess what, guys? We have a huge amount of diversity. And if that diversity is reflected right in the SGA, and people knew how many cool people, how many different people we have in this school, they will love us. We will look a lot better. And this is one of the main things that why we did this party for. Like to add something?
You got it all?
Perfect. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Access Silverback. When you say students should, quote, trust an SGA to discern what can happen and what should happen, what does this specifically mean? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, a lot of our issues are things that we believe are actually feasible, of saying, you know, let's make campus more affordable, this will pay for itself, we're going to bring people together, increase safety. It all sounds good in theory, but with us, we're saying, yeah, that should happen, and we're saying it can happen with our ideas of actually doing it. We've talked with OIS about free printing, talked with Colton the other day there. He was saying that, yeah, we could easily do this. Either of our ideas of free printing could work. Ours was along the lines of 10 free pages a day instead of an amount for the year, just depending, you know, what days you need it. It was similar to what Kels did in their resource center last year, just getting that back for those students who are used to that, and then charge a rate for every page after that per day. And with concealed carry, it's one of those things of Alice training's already being taught to our faculty. It could easily be taught to our students. Concealed carry courses, they're in Girard, Pittsburgh, all around. Hunter safety is already taught in Russ Hall for free. That's coming up here pretty quick. You guys should all get in on that if you can. But just what we think is everything we're saying can actually happen. It's not that we're just saying this so that you guys vote for us. Our idea is that we want these issues brought up, and we're going to address them whether we're elected or not. But we think that by being elected president and vice president, we'd have a lot more pull, a lot more power, and be able to work with administration a lot better in making sure that the students are represented in it.
I want to say the Love Project is actually already happening, whether we get elected or not. That's something that's already in motion. SGA would just be able to help with that. Specialized degree programs, that's something that I thought was crazy. We can add multiple new degrees to campus with a collaboration of departments with little to no cost to the university. Degrees like forensic science, journalism, architecture, healthcare administration. The conceal and carry, we talk to administrators on campus, and that's something that can effectively happen. And our last two are also feasible as well, access codes and free printing.
Thank you. All right, the next party. Major Key Party. You've advocated for professor-related issues several times in your party platform messaging. How will student government accomplish increased accountability from faculty, and what methods will you use to see persistent student complaints about professors resolved?
I guess we'll just start off with it. I would like to just generally go to all the teachers. I want to talk to administration and see exactly what happens with the performance reviews. If they're actually given to the teachers, if they go to the dean of the college, and what exactly happens with that aspect. From there, we'd want to see, depending on what their answer with that was, the approach would be dependent on where you'd go. If it goes to the teachers, I would like to see SGA, the academic affairs director, if we were to get elected, change the position, the requirements of what actually it entails. and have them actually go and speak to the teachers, speak to the deans of the college, and find out what exactly is wrong with that teacher. Talk to the students as well. Generally, the students will have a lot of feedback depending on what the teacher is or what class they're taking. Obviously, there's going to be some performance reviews where the student just didn't do well in the class and they didn't study and they gave a bad review. I want to take a look and maybe even have it to the point where SGA can see some of the performance reviews from the students to where we can actually give our input, so it's more of a collaboration as opposed to just relying on the administration or the faculty to do something from that aspect.
Just in the last week and a half, I've talked to probably 15 to 20 teachers about how they feel about the little fill out sheets that we do for them. What are they called? Performance reviews, yeah. And they hate them just as much as we do. And I would really like to implement a task force between students and faculty and department heads just to see really what we can do and how, if we can get 2 to 3, even 10 teachers to look at them and actually pay attention and make a difference. We're paying for our education. We might as well get the best out of it.
Thank you. For this next section, I will ask 2 debate questions. All parties will be allowed 2 minutes to answer the question. If during the debate and during a speech someone references another party, they will be permitted a 1-minute rebuttal. The first question will begin with Mr. Al-Qassab. Parking is an ongoing issue on this campus. The Gorilla Shuttle is an example of a means past administrations organized to address this issue within SGA's capabilities. How would you expand on or change this program, and are there any other plans you have to improve campus parking? Mr. Al-Qassab.
Okay, guys, it's extremely easy for us to start making promises and saying, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Nobody knows how much money we're going to get from the state next year. Nobody knows what can we do with that. So here's the thing. I have a very basic idea about anything that regards money issues. At the beginning of the year, no matter how much money we get from the state, it will be public knowledge for all the students. Everybody will know how much money we got. And then we're going to see what stuff do you want. Do you think parking is a priority? Do you think having more hours in the library is more important? That's your choice. That will not be mine. You will have the opportunity to voice up and say, what do you want us to do? And you will know exactly how much will it cost. We will do the research. We will tell you, if you want this, this will cost that. You want the more hours? That will cost this. And then you will choose based on the money after you have all, my job will be to provide you with all the information that you need so you can make a better decision for this campus. We're going to decentralize the SGA. It's not going to be a couple guys or a cabinet member, no matter how diverse we can get. We are only 10 students, 8 students, 9 students, whatever in the cabinet. We're representing over 7,000. And I'm going to open the window for everybody, every single group on campus to voice up and tell us what they want. And then when every single student here tell us, it's going to be our job to enforce it. And you're going to have all the information you need to make an intelligent decision about that. So it's not going to be me, it's not going to be him. It's going to be every single one in here. Your voice will be heard. And that is why we're doing our thing.
Yeah, something very important is that an organization does not function without proper communication. We want to make sure the students, they have their freedom to express themselves and to choose what they need and what they want from our university.
Ms. Conger?
All right, back onto the issue of parking. I'm the treasurer this year, so I could already tell you guys it is public knowledge where your money goes for SGA. It's an activity fee from school activity dollars. We get about $100,000 for the next year, so thank you guys. The best way to do that is not necessarily waiting all year for feedback, considering we already can't get 5% to even vote, yet alone take surveys. Faculty knows how difficult it is for people to take surveys, so they have to bribe them with iPads, so we don't have enough money for that. What we would do with parking is we already have the guest shells in place. So with expanding that, a lot of it is awareness of making those signs more prevalent, making it where people will say, oh, that's what it is. And I think that there's a good quote of, we don't have a parking problem, we have a walking problem, where people don't want to walk to class, even if they're 2 blocks away. But I think with parking, that, yeah, just implementing that guest shell, keeping it going is good for that, and just making sure people are aware that we have that service. There are a lot of services on campus that people are just unaware of, and amazing going into the SGA office and hearing like, what's the deal today? Where's free food? And it's one of those things where there's always a service being offered somewhere that people are just unaware of. So we think that education is the best way for that.
I definitely think one of the things that we can do with the Gus Shuttle is make it more reliable. I know it doesn't always come in 10-minute increments, so if we can find a way, maybe even adding a second shuttle to make that process more efficient so that students can get places on time, that would be very beneficial, and that's something we would strive for.
Mr. McGee, you're up.
Well, just like in large part in agreement with Hank, I would just like parking as a whole. Like there just really isn't enough room to expand parking at Pittsburgh State. It's not necessarily, I don't want to say not feasible, but along with all the tax cut or the funding from education being cut, it's really not a plan that I've seen that could be potential, like that's going to be possible in the future. What needs to be done is kind of again what Hank said, it'd be like expanding with the Gus Shuttle. Just making it to where maybe even add another bus, making it more prominent, making more ways to actually get to class as opposed to parking. There really isn't an aspect where we can go to where we'd actually be able to expand parking. We just need to have more ways, even like instead of having another bus, having a third bus maybe, making the bus stops more clear, adding more bus stops if that needs to happen. I know maybe if it's possible to go to like certain like places off campus, it's not just the rec or the tech center, but go to places where a lot of people would meet. I don't know if the gas stations, maybe, I don't know, we'd have to talk to the community on that one. But that would definitely be something, if that's what the students would want to get done, then we can go and talk to the community and see from where we could actually be able to go from there.
Thank you. Ms. Herring?
Well, I'm not Miss Herring, but like that's one of our biggest platform. That's one of the biggest part of our platforms is parking improvements and stress-free parking. And what we have looked into is, especially with smaller lots, if we restripe the lines because they are straight now, if we restripe them to slants, you can save 7% per spot. Therefore, adding more parking spots per parking lot. And with that, along with that, bringing in safety, so cameras, bringing in campers on smaller lots just in case you get door dinged or you get rear-ended or something to that effect. Bringing in like the buses, I've talked with at least 25 student organizations within the past couple days, and all of them have said they make trips from either main campus to the tech or tech to main campus, and all of them have said it is not enough time. The Gorilla Shuttle does not get me there in time. I've had teachers say they come 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes late to class, and it's only a 15-minute class, and they cannot make up that information, and they cannot make up that time. And so our plan is to have a micro route where we just have a single bus that takes you from main campus and shoots you out to the tech, and that is the only route it takes. It doesn't have 4, 5, 6, 7 stops, and that's one of the biggest things we're advocating for, and also that we are looking for, especially out in Axe. I drive an older model vehicle, so I can't pull out my keys and start chirping the horn and try and find my car after a long day of classes and I forget where I park. Starting to like number and letter and section the courses, so when you hop out of your vehicle, I'm in section this, you can find your car very easily, and it'll also help for like tailgating and big events, trying to find everything that's going on.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We will proceed to the second question now of the night. Heated discussion arose over the new Gorilla Village tailgate party rules this year, and the university formed the PSU Game Day Committee to address the issue. Do you oppose the new tailgate policies? If you do, what's bad about them? If you do not, what's good about them? Are any changes needed? And please specify. Parties will have 2 minutes. Ms. Flyer?
All right. For those of you who do not know, I'm in Sigma Chi fraternity, so I have heard a lot about the tailgating policy. I've heard things of, let's just do it at our house. Let's just not go. It's buzzkill on game day. No one wants to be there if they feel like they're being restricted the whole time. They want to be able to have just a day where they can be with their friends, go out, do what they want to do, and not feel like everyone's out to get them, or there's a bunch of rules in place telling them, you can't do this, you can't do that, you need to do this. The main problems is it's just super restrictive, and it's mostly discriminatory towards students, because we all know that if alumni come back and say they want to carry in a beer not in a closed container, they're not going to get in trouble if they're donating $1 million to the foundation. They're going to be fine. But students, if I'm in a truck and I'm carrying in a beer, I'm not 21, I wouldn't carry in a beer, then I would get in trouble. So we just want to make it where dealing with tailgating, there is the tailgate task force already that a lot of people are on in dealing with it. The direction it's going in now seems to be more along the lines of nothing's going to happen. So it wouldn't need to be a major push from the student body to say, yeah, we really want to change this. Here's specific ways we want to change it. One way that I've heard that is good, but it's already been seeming like it's getting shot down, but I think it's still a good idea, is getting our own area where students could go, one section of the parking lot, or even like the President's Field, or just a little further away, because a lot of students don't even go into the game during tailgating time. So I think that having our own section where families, because the main concern was families, safety, making sure that it's a family-friendly atmosphere on game day. So having our own section where parents essentially could say, don't go there, that could be effective for fixing the tailgating policy.
One of the main problems that I've heard about that is that it creates a hostile environment. I heard about families having encounters with undercover police officers, some other issues like that. I certainly don't think we need as many security guards supervising.
Thank you. Next party up, Mr. McGee.
I'm a freshman. I live in the dorms. We're all under 21, but the week that the rules came out, it was like all hell broke loose, pretty much. Everyone was mad. Everyone didn't understand what was going on. They didn't understand why we were being punished and why all these rules were implemented. I myself understand the rules, but I do oppose some of them. A lot of my family are alumni and do come back for football games and spend almost the entire time tailgating. And they felt after these rules were implemented that their experience was affected because their children, the college kids, couldn't understand what was going on, and it happened so quickly. I understand that after everything happened, they have to implement a lot of rules to crack down on us. But I have a couple friends that are on the task force that are working really, really hard to see change, and there does need to be less of a police presence, as Colleen said. It does make a hostile environment for the students and for the alumni. Yes, they're probably not going to get in trouble, but they are going to see their kids, their grandkids, their friends, or the people that are in their fraternities or sororities or organizations suffering from this. Yes, their kids do need to be reeled in a little bit, and it shouldn't just be an all-out party, but I do believe that Pittsburgh State has one of the best tailgating, one of the best football presence of any school, D2 in Kansas, and after that happened, it was like a ghost town out there. So I think we need a happy medium. We need to find a way to keep students safe, keep parents safe, and to still make sure that everyone's having good, clean fun. And so we can enjoy football, because go PU.
Thank you. Next up, Banana Party.
A little bit about myself. I grew up here in Pittsburgh, Kansas. I was raised on my parents telling me Kendall Gammon did this, and Kendall Gammon made great leaps and bounds, and Kendall Gammon is a great role model and what he stands for Pitt State, and he is on the task force for the tailgating policy. And not only am I a member of SGA, I'm a member of Guerrilla Rotaract, a leadership group on campus. And he came and spoke with us today, and they do admit that after a series of events, he said that it was the few that ruined it for the many. Ooh, startled me. It was a few that ruined it for the many, and that they did overreact, and they did have some very strict policies set in place, and they said that they were looking to reel those back, and many people opposed many of the rules, but after everybody settled down and started to look at things, some rules that were brought into light actually made sense to them, and so there is an active reform going on right now, and the rules do need to be changed, but not all of them.
I have two perspectives on this. My first perspective is of a student that attended the tailgates, and I just love the atmosphere, and who doesn't love tailgating? But my other experience going through this past year was as a vice president, meeting with administration, especially weeks after games,
we met with Dr. Scott right after they made the first rules. And like, students need to understand that the rules came from them being scared because they didn't want to open the newspaper or read the news and see that one of their students was badly injured or killed at the tailgate. And I just think that we need to find a good compromise so that we can still maintain our traditions and at the same time be safe and respectful. And even if we don't get everything we want, like, the times have changed. Like, if we can't drink and it can't be the biggest party, like, we need to all respect and like support our alma mater, because
Thank you. Final party?
Football is a great part of our culture here in Pitt State. And I'm going to tell you a story that happened with me personally. As I said, I'm with the Army ROTC, so before every game, during the tailgate, we actually walk around to sell rifle tickets so you can shoot the cannon. And I actually hold the current record. I sold 286 rifle tickets in 28 minutes. And that was last semester. But anyhow, so those new rules came in, right? So I'm walking around trying to sell rifle tickets. Guess what? There's nobody there. It's affecting us. We get most of our money with fundraising. Over half of the people that actually used to show up to tailgating stopped showing up. There might be some incidents. Cool. There's incidents everywhere. You could have the best security, the best rules in the world. You will have incidents now and then. But if we're going to start doing stuff that would affect our culture and our happiness here at Pitt State, especially that a lot of people actually know Pitt State from our football team, come to Pitt State because they want to be football players. This thing is affecting them. This thing is drawing not a very good picture about Pitt State when it comes to other schools, guys. And we are 100% against this, and I'm telling you right now, if I was in SGA, this thing would not have been passed. And when I stand here, I would come and tell you guys, I will tell you exactly why it came in, who was the guy who actually enforced it, and what did I do personally to go and try to not make it work. Because I'm extremely aggressive, and I will put that in the SGA. I will go there, and I will ask why. I will require answers. And if the students votes against this, it's your university, guys. It's not us. It's everybody. So if you do not want that, that would be what we're gonna get here.
Got it all again?
Yeah.
Thank you all. Before we begin closing statements, I will like to thank one more time everyone that has showed up this evening, everyone that's tuned in on pittstate.tv. Thank you. We'll be in closing arguments. Mr. McGee, your party, 3 minutes to do a closing statement.
Oh, well, not a whole lot I would have to say on this one, but just as you guys can clearly see, a lot of our points are for the most part similar. Most of them are just little aspects are being changed and along those lines. I don't really need to say much about our platforms. Kind of got all those touched on, but just keep in mind when you're voting that it's for the betterment of Pitt State. I feel like every one of these candidates would do a fantastic job. It's just the ones that you guys feel would make the best fit. That's all I really have to say.
Banana party? Closing argument?
In closing, we just want to say that we really hope that you'll vote for us and give us the opportunity. At the end of the day, we're all Pittsburgh State University students, and we're all going to be the same community after the election, but we'd really like to be your leadership for the next year. And the banana party's diamonds shine because they are really diamonds. That's what we're going to leave you with.
All right. A voice for change. Closing statement.
Like was mentioned, all the parties here, they have great ideas, and those are things that go through the minds of every single student here on campus. Those are things we want to do, things we need to change. We do see a need for change on campus. We do see policies that we need to change. We do see things that we need to improve here, and that's what we're going to strive to do.
Guys, I've been here for 2.5 years. I'm a junior, and I have a quadruple major and a minor. And with the firefighting and the RTC, there's one thing about me. They're all better than me. I'm telling you right now. But here's one thing: I work harder. I work really hard. I accomplish things, guys. When I do something, when I put my mind into something, I accomplish it. And it's so easy for me to come here and hey y'all and sweet talk you and just throw all those empty promises. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you one thing. I'm a hard worker and I will make things happen. And it will happen. And when you're voting for the voice of change, you're not voting for me and Guillermo. We're just two out of the student body. And within us, we have all the organizations being presented with us. And I promise you, a brighter tomorrow will happen. A better Pitt State is a thing. And we will work really hard for this. And thank you all for your time.
All right, final party.
I'd like to start out and say that I'm from Joplin, Missouri. I went to school just 100 meters short of Missouri Southern. I could have gone there. I could have gotten a full ride. But there's a reason why I didn't go to Missouri Southern. It's because half of my class went there. And they've said there's no student atmosphere. Nobody is passionate about campus. You just go to school. You go home. Most of people commute. Here at Pittsburgh State University, everyone is passionate about campus. People come to football games. People are proud to be Gorillas. It's not just another college campus. It's a campus full of people that are so excited to be here, and that's something I love about this place. I have thrown myself into activities since I've gotten here. I'm taking 26 hours. I'm in honors college. I'm a student ambassador, advanced student ambassador, president and founder of GAL, running for vice president, choir, drama, theater. I absolutely love being a part of PSU. I love working hard. I love late nights at the libraries, and I love each and every person that I've met here. PSU is one of the brightest, most wonderful campuses you could be a part of, and I would be honored to be your vice president.
All right, I'd just like to close and say that, yeah, make sure you guys do vote whoever you decide to vote for. One of the things with our party is that we're addressing a lot of issues that people aren't talking about, of online educational resources, concealed carry, as well as printing. We're dealing with that as well, and other issues. A lot of these issues are issues that have already been brought by campus and are going to be dealt with anyway, but it's deciding which issues you think are most important and which ones you want to see change. And I think that our party is the compromise where you pull a little bit from each and we address all of them the best that we can. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all once again. Let's give one more round of applause to the candidates here. Don't forget to vote next week on your guests. There is a link, direct linked, I believe, to get to the ballots. I encourage everyone to get out and do your duty as a Pitt State student. Thank you all and have a good evening.